Action.
Exactly, action. All right, so welcome. I don't know yet your name, so I would like first to, for whoever don't know me, I am Deborah Vargas, one of the founders of Flex Major School in Orlando, but also I run the operation here in Brazil. Leticia is one of our teachers, and she coordinates this amazing project that is the debate project. It is not a course like you have in the US and how we are going to discuss today, but it's just a little taste for our Brazilian students to feel like, and maybe soon we'll have a whole course, a whole credit of debate. We are very happy with this presence with you two here, you four here. It was first from Frank. So Frank, thank you so much for you to accept this talk and inviting.
We're proud to participate, and it's part of our desire to also have a more active international presence.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And I guess we could start with if you could introduce yourself, Frank, and then Mr. Murphy and the girls as well.
Okay. Yes, I'm the co-founder and operator of Avant Garde Academy and the other Avant Garde Academy schools and preschools. And with you, Deborah, Danielle, the youth thrust into the international program. So we're very excited to be here. I just wanted to briefly share that during my high school and college experience, I benefited greatly from debate and also speech. Little did I know at the time that later, not only would I come back as an adult, and I was a coach and I was a judge for different debate tournaments. So that ended as well. And I did want to highlight that what I learned has been very useful for me. It helped tremendously when I was in the business world, because certainly we're always in a competition of ideas, so to speak. And we're always in a competition of trying to get our mission and programs across. And sometimes they're competing missions or programs. And usually more than not, they're also competing with limited dedicated resources. So the more effective we are in communicating that way, the more successful we're going to be. I also didn't know that I would enter politics later on in life. So when I was in politics, certainly both speech and debate skills and communication skills came in very handy. So what our students are able to learn through this and other similar programs will serve them well for the rest of their lives. So I thank you, and I congratulate all of you, and you, Mr. Murphy, and our students, and the students in Brazil as well.
All right. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mr. Murphy. I'm the activities director here at Avant Garde Academy for both the upper school level, middle school, and high school. My job entails providing enrichment activities for everyone here, middle school and high school. We do a variety of things here. I teach a 12th grade leadership class, and I teach the digital media. The leadership class is pretty much preparing the students for the college application process, for the overall college transition from high school to college. So they're learning a lot regarding financial aid, how to meet deadlines, essays, just overall the curriculum that is entailed for students getting ready to prepare for college, just making them aware of the various components of college, the college application process. Also, I do teach the digital media, which of course is the morning announcement. So every day we have a crew that goes out and record everything that needs to be told to the students about what goes on here at Avant Garde Academy. And now I'm going to turn over to Victoria. She's a junior here at Avant Garde, and then we have Daniela, who is a senior.
Hi guys, so my name is Victoria. I'm also from Brazil. I'm currently a junior here at Avant Garde. And I just wanted to say, I think it's super interesting, the project that you guys are doing. I think it's always super fun to have something else that, you know, it's different, incorporated into whatever we already know, and getting to know, especially from other countries. I know because when I first moved here, I didn't really have any idea what I was doing. And so to have like a little piece for those people that are thinking about it, or that might even be going to move here, I think it's super interesting of you guys.
Hi, I totally agree with Victoria. My name's Daniela. I'm a senior here at Avant Garde Academy. But yeah, I was born here, but my mom's from Brazil, so I speak Portuguese at home. But I did go to school in Brazil, and English class, it wasn't something taken seriously. So I think this is super cool.
Oh my God, I did not expect that. I was already excited with all of this conversation of ours. Now it's, I'm here overwhelmed with so much excitement. Thank you, girls. Frank, that you surprised me with this, bringing students, and suddenly they're also Brazilians.
Oh, that's all.
Yeah.
That's all. Thanks to the great Mr. Murphy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Murphy. Amazing. So I guess I'll say, Leticia, I know that I already introduced you. I know that you have some questions in mind that we could ask them. So if you could go ahead, please.
Sure. So the questions we would like to ask you are, how is the debate discipline? Yeah, how's the debate course there? What is the structure of a debate, and how does that happen? Yeah, how does the debate happen in school? The practice, the argumentation, this process of preparing for a debate and then the actual debate.
Yeah.
And what is a little bit like, what do you study in the course?
So
That would be the biggest questions.
okay. All right. So although this year I'm not currently taking a debate class, I did take debate for, I think it was 2 or 3 years at the school, because I've been here since they opened up 8 years ago. So I did take, I think, 2 or 3 years. And what we would do was we would divide the debate up into portions. So I think it was very close to the Parkland shooting when we had that happen here. And we did a debate on that about firearms and carrying them. And so what we did was we would take multiple class periods and, prepare our introductions and make them 2 minutes and make sure that your speech is moving and that you can get your point across without being, disrespectful, without including I think we split it up to where it was like how we say in Brazil, mastigado em pedaços, like we had it split up into pieces where it was more understandable, where we could get things done without it being super hard and confusing. Because, sometimes writing a debate and making, it's scary because you have to write a lot and it's something for you to try to get your point across. It's confusing. So it was good for us to split it up and stuff like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was never able to take a debate class, but debate has been something I've always been super interested in. So I was always in debate clubs, and something I definitely really learned, and I think my favorite part of being in the club was learning how to listen, because of course you're so ready to get your point across, and like she said, do it in a timely manner without being disrespectful, and really get your point across clearly to your audience. But learning how to listen was a skill that I hugely picked up from all the debate clubs that I've taken a part in. And that skill I don't only use in debate, I use in real life too. So it's been a great skill to have picked up.
Nice. I imagine, let me first ask, how shy or how extroverted are you two?
I'm extroverted, but when it comes to things like this, I usually get a little shy just because I'm extroverted once I'm in my comfort zone, but doing things like this requires, it's a little bit more challenging for me, but I'm able to do it. I'm not.
Yeah, I fall in that same boat.
Okay, because I'm curious of maybe to Mr. Murphy, how would you deal with students, very shy students, introverted, and when you have to stand up and put your point of view, and it's something just like Frank mentioned, and the girls are saying, it's once you practice, once you're very used to this, you carry for life all of these benefits of just stating and getting to say, argue, put your perspective here when you're talking to one-on-one or to a whole group for big speeches. So anyways, I think it is really important, but how to deal with very shy kids for this course.
Just to interrupt, when I teach the morning announcement, so I do have students in the class that are pretty much camera shy. So I try to rotate them around. Yeah, we have some that'll actually get on and record and actually be like a newscaster or news reporter. Then we have some that's behind the scenes. So I try to rotate everyone to get a chance to have that opportunity.
And I just wanted to say really quick, I think Mr. Murphy does a great job of getting everyone to engage and participate
Really true.
because the school isn't huge. We're able to have like a very personal connection with everyone that's here. So Mr. Murphy, for example, I think we all can say that we
Yeah.
all have a connection to him. Like you'll be in the cafeteria and he'll call your name out loud and you feel like you don't like you forget that everyone else is there. You're having that little joke with Murphy. And so you feel more comfortable because you know that if anything, Murphy's got your back. He's always there for all of us. So
Oh, that is so nice. Congratulations, Mr. Murphy. What a great
Thank you so
job. What else we have, Leticia?
Yeah, I was thinking like when you have a connection either with the audience or with your peers, it's way easier. You feel more comfortable, right? Another thing that I was reflecting. There's something. Oh, okay. I got lost here with the chat. I'm sorry. Another thing that I was reflecting is that what Daniela mentioned, well, if you don't listen, how are you going to respond to people, what people are saying in the debate, right? And we are reflecting toward around that while we are studying in the project. But what I would really like to hear more about is your experiences with debating. So, problems you found during the way, or like issues that you had, and also, and that we can discuss a little bit more later, but what do you study? Like, what is the theory behind all when you are preparing for a debate?
On the
For me,
curriculum.
Yeah, on the curriculum. Exactly.
For me, like just to touch back on listening, that was a huge issue I encountered because I was so focused on getting my point across and kind of like winning my point of view, but I didn't realize that that really doesn't do anything unless you're also listening to the other person's point of view. That's something that I definitely had to overcome because I'm very strongly opinionated. So if I have an opinion, it's like something I really want to put out there. So I struggled with definitely listening to others, but growing that skill of listening first before putting my opinion out there definitely helped me grow, like I said, not only in debate, but also outside of it.
I think, yeah, I want to touch on what she said. I think we worked first on skills, on what it takes for you to be a good debater, what it takes for you to give a good speech, what it takes for you to be able to, not only have a debate, but have a conversation with the person that's debating against you or with you. And I think it's what she said. What helped us a lot also was that one of the habits is seek first to understand, then to be understood. And so we really do touch base on listening. You've got to listen. You've got to know what the other person is saying, and then you can talk.
Yeah.
That's great. Also for Mr. Murphy, and then just out of curiosity, a little bit of on the course itself, the curriculum. What are the topics that are the main topics that students go through on this course?
All right, so the main topic in my class, the leadership class, the main topic is overall college preparation. So basically, we started off on the first day of class, our goal statement. Where do you see yourself upon high school? So they had to also list 3 things that they're going to see themselves upon leaving high school. Then we had to focus on your top 5 colleges. What are the top 5 colleges? Not necessarily in order, but what are the top 5 colleges that you are interested in attending? And then we had to do research on your major to determine which major is going to be the best for me and which school will be the best fitting for me. And then from that point, we start doing our definitely research into deadlines. What are the schools looking for regarding grade point averages? Are the schools looking for specific test scores and things like that? Recommendation letters. So we've gone through a series of all of those steps. So where we are right now is that we did the actual beginning base of the college preparation. Now we're focusing on applying, meeting the deadlines, and meeting the requirements that is needed to get accepted into the school. So it's basically all about being attentive, due diligence of researching, and actually just getting to the bottom of everything we need and move forward with the acceptance part of it. We also did a project where the students had to locate 5 of their top schools and do history on the school itself, the enrollment, the graduation rate, and so forth. And then they had to present them. Matter of fact, I have a few here now. Hold on a second. So I have, oh wait, I'm sorry. So here's a poster board, if you can see it. It's just showing like the different schools here, history about the school. You know, I'm sorry, I'm trying to hold it. I don't mean to put it in your face. But this is basically, I had to create like a college board. Okay, and so here it is. They had to choose their schools. Here's info on the schools. I tried to get them to show some type of replica, of the school here. So anyway, I was trying to give you, I tried to grab one that was
That was easy.
not too big. And then now they're going to be working on a project of a college t-shirt collage where they're going to, every school they get accepted into is going to go on a t-shirt. And we're going to have a college t-shirt day once the project is completed.
Amazing, awesome.
Thank you.
Hey,
And also touching on like the curriculum that you guys were kind of talking about. I think throughout my curriculum, like for debate, while I was in the club, we definitely focused on like 3 main things. And I think those 3 main things, at least as of what I picked up, was getting to your like creating your resolution in like a clear way, in a way that gets your point across without being wordy and etc. in a clear way. Secondly, also as a second main point, we definitely focused a lot on I guess touching, while you're creating your resolution, touching on the other person's point. So kind of like having a counter argument or an opposing argument, that was definitely a big one. So that way you don't seem like ignorant, but rather you seem that you are understanding their point, but you still agree with your side. And then the last one was definitely quality of evidence, simply having the evidence necessary to back up your point, like relevant evidence, etc. So curriculum wise, I think those were definitely the 3 main things touched upon.
I think one of the big things that we focused on before we even got to the writing part, in addition to the skills that we learned, like the leadership and the respectfulness and everything, I think is research. You have to do good research so that you know what you're talking about, because if someone has a random question that you don't know how to answer, you've got to have that research that you've done before. Like, even if you're on a random Google article, obviously we have to check for credible sources and everything, but you're on a random Google article and you see the sky is blue and you don't even pay attention to it, but somebody asks you later, I don't know what color the sky is. You're like, oh, the sky's blue because I researched this, and that. Like, you've got to have stuff to back your credibility up. Yeah, so you can seem educated, exactly.
it forces you to study.
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot.
and it gives you more confidence to talk on what you're talking about.
And in general also, because you learn to take that onto your life. And so in normal conversations that you have and everything, you're going to be more educated. As much as you like it or not, the practice of debating and the practice of doing research of your evidence makes you want to learn other stuff. Not only want to, but feel the need to, because you feel like you have that confidence. It provides you the self-confidence to have, active discussions in your day-to-day life. And
That's
so
super
on.
true. That's super true. Like, I've grown like a huge interest in like even like politics, for example. Like, I feel the need to be educated on that because I don't like the feeling, like after I've been through like my debate clubs and everything like that, I really dislike the feeling of someone like talking to me about something that I just have no idea on.
Yeah.
So I really have like felt the need after being part of these clubs to really research.
And for example, like bringing it outside of the debate curriculum. For example, this year I'm taking AP US history. And in that class, we actively have debates on what, like, stuff that's happened before that. Do you agree with it? Do you not? And sometimes, it requires you to sit in the classroom and look at another student who does not agree with you and have a respectful and monotone discussion. Don't raise your voice, don't start yelling. Like, everybody gets their point across without starting an argument, without it becoming an issue. Nobody gets in trouble. Everybody just understands and listens to one another. And I think that's honestly so great to be able to have, to be able to not be problematic and to be able to listen to everyone, because I think currently we live in a world where there's so many new ideas introduced like daily, and we have to accept that not everyone is going to agree with everything. And I think it takes a lot for us, like as a society, to get that through our heads. So
Totally agree.
Oh my God, I love it. Love all this. I'm like, and just also out of curiosity, Victoria, you said you did you were born in Brazil and then you moved to the
Yes.
US.
Yes, I
How
was
old are
moved-
you
I was
when
seven.
when you moved? 7? Or no?
Yes, I was 7 or 8. 7, almost 8.
Do you remember a little bit? How is it
I
like
do.
here?
I do.
Because I'm
I do.
just, I don't know if we can relate something like if you feel any different of how is debating or like just talking a different different point of view with different people here and there, or in Brazil and the US. How is it?
Even though I moved when I was very little, I do compare it. I think in Brazil, the debate topic is kind of less touched upon. I think like nowadays it's starting to be more introduced, but I think before it wasn't really a thing that was brought up a lot. Like you know, you're learning what you're learning and that's it. If you're in your math class, you're in your math class and that's it. There's no discussing what's going on. Math is math and that's it. And the reading was the same way. And there was not like, it was really like you raise your hand to ask to go to the bathroom, not really for anything else. You're just there to listen to what you have to say.
True. And fingers crossed, this is being changed.
Yes, fingers crossed.
Yes. Just contributing to the discussion, which is very rich. I'm so happy and excited to hear all what you're speaking. And the education here in Brazil is way different than in the US. You have way more opportunities to reflect, debate, and think critically, even in math class, right? If you don't agree, you have room for that. You have room for creativity, right? And since the students are here in Brazil, they are going to school in Brazil and going to school in the US, going to school, yeah, you know, studying the disciplines and the courses. I think they want to hear this and they want to know how it works. And what you're saying is, I think, what they need and expect to hear. So it's very nice. And I have a question, which is, I think it would be a student question. Because while I was creating the project, I couldn't not include writing. I could not include writing because it's impossible if you're not practicing writing arguments and writing down things, writing down your ideas, and preparing a concrete argument with good evidence, as you mentioned, is not possible. And I would like, because the students would think, oh, but it's a debate. I should be practicing, I should be talking, I should be, and I shouldn't be writing, right? But I would like to hear from you and maybe even Mr. Bolaños as well, or Mr. Murphy as well, if you feel like talking, that what is the importance of writing in debating? Because, well, debate is an oral practice. You're there and you speak, but how is writing important? Because, well, from what you mentioned, it is important, right?
So, I just lost my train of thought. So I do think writing is really important. And I think currently I'm taking AP US language, US literature. And we just did an analysis on a documentary and we learned the importance of notes, because what our teacher did was he made us watch the documentary. It's called The Social Dilemma on Netflix. It's about the use of internet and all that stuff. And we watched it in class. We took a few class periods. And so what he did was he let us know, he said, I'm going to give you a test. You're going to have to write a analysis of this documentary, but you're only going to use your notes. The documentary is not an option. You can't watch it. You can't have it on the side. There's no Google, there's no nothing. Your notes, whatever you write down is what you're going to use. And so I went crazy. I wrote like 7, 8 pages of notes and I was writing everybody's names, what everybody did, what everybody said. And at the end, I realized how much it helped me because I was able to say everything I needed to say, analyze everything I needed to analyze, and provide support and evidence because of the research.
I also, to touch on that too, on top of like, obviously writing things down is just like a great way to remember them because it's hard to just look at something once and remember all of it, or read it once, watch it once, etc. I think something writing also does a lot is it helps give you like a clear train of thought, or helps clear your thoughts into like a good statement, if that makes sense. Because when you write it down, or what I like to do when I'm debating and stuff like that, is I just write all my thoughts down, like kind of loosely, like very draft like. And I like to kind of go through it, and I'll pick out the points that I think are like most important, most relevant, etc., things like that, or have the most sorry. Oh,
They still see you. There you go.
okay. Or like that, have the most importance, etc. And I think that once I have those written down, I can kind of make a clear argument, write it down, word it exactly how I want it to be worded, and everything like that. And I think that way you can get your point across super clear, and you're not confusing the other person with a bunch of words that are just really unnecessary, or thoughts that are unnecessary.
I think you're able to form like a clear
argument.
You can make sure that everything is flowing, like you're able to, especially what we mentioned before, the counterclaim, you're able to, you know, understand your point, because sometimes we kind of just, we know what we know what we think and what our opinion is, but we don't know how to get it out there. We don't know how to, like, I can tell you I don't like something, but through my argument, I tell you that I do like it, that I don't like it again, that I like it, but I don't. And, you know, I think with planning, you're able to make sure that it flows and provide your counterclaim and provide your thesis, I think is really important also.
So I definitely think writing is a huge component in debating, because I think without it, it's just really hard to get your point across in like a clear manner.
Yeah, I like to add, it made me think, and I hadn't really quite summarized it in my own head that way before, but it makes me realize that debate kind of brings it all together. And if we had a more comprehensive integrated exam, it would include debate, I think, because it really brings all the components together. You can't be effective without writing, can't be effective without being a good reader. So it really brings it all together. And going back to one of the things Mr. Murphy started with, that you repeated as well, is that it's a significant component of leadership. My own personal experience in voyage is that even though I've been either thrust or I volunteered or I was volunteered, I've been in different types of public settings since high school. But nonetheless, I'm an introvert by nature. But I've been exposed to the public since high school. I was exposed to the media, radio, and TV very early on in college. And then I entered both community work and public service and politics later on. So for me, it's always been also, and things like debate and speech are in that area where I know sometimes that I'm outside my comfort zone, but I've also learned how important it is to get outside of your comfort zone, and the confidence that comes when you get through it, and you do it in such a way that you work through it. It's like fear, and you were able to say feel the fear and do it anyway. So I think those are some of the components that actually do come together very nicely with faith.
Mr. Murphy, any special thought or anything to share with us?
Well, again, with the writing, we do a lot of writing in my leadership class because we have to take notes. And I think writing is a very good asset for the students, because it gives you something to reflect back on once you view and visualize whatever the lesson that we're doing or the modeling that we're doing. Taking notes and reflecting back on those notes is a very good asset that will help the students further attain more of the content of what we're discussing. So yeah, I think writing is very, very important and very essential for the students to learn and to also practice.
My mind is truly blown here with all of this, everything you guys are sharing. I'm positive that students are going to go crazy. You are going to be seen along this, our students. They might come up with questions later, or they might ask for some other meetings, and maybe they will show up. So I don't know. I guess I don't want to take you guys any more time. Any other message? It doesn't have to be specifically on the debate, but anything. And I forgot to mention, maybe something very important that Leticia mentioned a little bit, but we forgot. It might make sense for you. The way that our Brazilian students do, so they have the regular school classes in the morning. Most of our classes are in the morning. Then in the afternoon, they take our US credits, but just the required ones, and that is English 1, 2, 3, and 4, US history, government and politics, and economics. But we are always encouraging them to take electives. Victoria mentioned about APs. We are always saying all of the benefits of taking honors and AP courses. So they have a little bit of this, or not a little bit, because it's a lot to them for them taking this both curriculums at the same time. But it's not like living in the US, of course. It's not like you two, your experience. You're already mostly American, more than Brazilians, if so, from your experience. But I mean, I just wanted to say that, that's why students are going to go crazy with all of these thoughts and all of this message you guys are sharing with us, because it's like seeing this, okay, it happens. It's not us saying the theory of how debate is important, how is important, but they're there, the teacher, the principal, students. So I am very, very happy about all this. And yes, I guess just to end up and just a bit closer, if you have any other comments to share with us.
I think it's super interesting. I just wanted to add one last thing. I think it's super interesting that you mentioned that they're taking, that you encourage the extracurriculars and everything, the electives and everything. I know personally, we encourage at least the school encourages the AP, and I'm also taking full enrollment. So I go to Florida International University and I take a class there. It's completely an elective, but it's interesting. It's good. Not only does it introduce you to, in you guys' case, it introduces the students in Brazil to the curriculum here and to what it's like to be here. In my case, it's more of I do high school, and then on Mondays I go to college and I get to see what it's like for the college students to be in a class, so that once I'm there, I kind of have the idea, kind of breaks me out of my shell, so that I feel a little bit more prepared, at least when I go there. And then we also get encouraged to volunteer. Our diploma requires us to have, I think it's 44 hours to graduate. It's 40 flat just to graduate. But for example, if you want a scholarship, which I think 100. She qualifies for, you've got to have 100 community service hours. So I volunteer at the hospital. She's done a bunch of volunteering herself. And, I think it's super interesting to encourage stuff that's extra, because a lot of us, I think for a while, I had the mentality of, I just have to get what I have to do out of the way, just my basic credits, English and whatever. And as I think you grow and you evolve and you look at yourself, you start to see that, that's not all that life's about. You've got to get out there and do other things.
And you have the potential to do more. You start realizing the potential you have. But I totally agree with you. I think it's super cool. And you said that they're going to come back and watch this. So if they're watching this, good job.
You guys should listen. Good job for doing this. We're so proud of you. We don't know you, but we're super proud. I think it's amazing what you guys are doing.
Because for real, if I had this curriculum plus a Brazilian curriculum or any other curriculum on top of this, that's a huge responsibility. So it's really cool to me, and it's something I haven't seen before. So I really love how international it is.
I think it's a huge reward for everyone. Also, I think the students need to value what it is, because what it means to be taking both US credits and Brazil credits. So you're a student everywhere, you're just a scholar. I'm shocked. I'm really shocked.
Super cool. But
and I want to also say that this has been a very enriching session. I've learned a lot. I mean, I have one of my best kids here at the school, and I'm glad that we're a part of this whole process, and it's nice meeting you all as well.
Same here. Thank you so much
for the opportunity.
Thank you.
We'll be doing more of this, and we'll be doing a lot more in the international arena.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
I'm excited.
Nice to
And
meet you.
I will share all the feedback. I'll share with Frank all of the feedback that we got from students. Any questions or anything.
We would love to see it.
Perfect. We want to see it. Thank you so much.
Enjoy your day.
Bye, you guys.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Thank you
very much.